Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about all of the books I read in July. So July was actually a pretty good reading month because I read 6 books and I've been in the fattest slump since like March. So like April, May, June, I read like 0 books, and so I finally read a lot more in July and I gave them all like 4 or 5 stars. So I read a lot of good books. So I'm just going to get into it. The first book I read was Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is the 3rd book in the Chestnut Springs series. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. It took me like a little bit to read, like a week maybe. That's just because I was like getting out of a slump. This book is about Jasper and Salome. So basically they've been like childhood friends. Okay, this is like kind of confusing to explain, but Salome is super close with the Eatons, and so basically Jasper, he's not actually one of like the brothers biologically. They just like took him in when he was a kid, so he grew up with the Eatons, and then since Salome is like close with their family, she'd see him a lot, and ever since like she first saw him, she always like had an interest in him. She's like been obsessed with him for years, but then she's like getting married to another guy. It's like arranged marriage kind of, because like her father wants her to marry him. Like on her wedding day, Jasper like helps her run away from the altar basically, and then she goes to stay with him on the ranch like where his family is. So basically it's just like her trying to figure out what she wants in her life, because like she realizes that she doesn't want to get married, and so her and Jasper spend like a few weeks together like helping around on the ranch, and they end up just like talking about the past, how she was always like obsessed with him, and it turns out that he kind of liked her too. This book was super easy to read. Like I don't know, I just kept reading. I couldn't really stop. It was so adorable. I don't know, there's just something about like childhood friends to lovers, and they just like really get each other. Like you're able to see how well they know each other. Like no one really knows them like they know each other, you know. But I just thought that this book was so cute. I think it was like the best book to get out of my slump, because it's like super like fast paced. You just go through the books super quick. That's also what I just love about this series in general. Like all 3 books that I've read from the series, I was able to read them so fast because like it just keeps you so intrigued. But that's the first book I read. Then I finished Redeeming 6 by Chloe Walsh. This is the 4th book in the Boys of Tommen series. This is Joey and Eva's last book. I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5. I really wanted to rate it higher, but the thing is I started this book in November and I didn't finish it until July. Like that's almost a year. I don't know, there was just something about it. Like I was able to read Saving 6 pretty fast, but once I got to Redeeming 6, I just like, I don't know, I feel like it was just too long at that point, because Shannon and Johnny's books, even though they're both fat, I got through them so fast. But with Joey and Eva, I just felt like it was super stretched out, because the first book is literally like them from like middle school to high school, and then the last book is like within like a shorter time span, and I felt like a lot of the stuff was just like getting repetitive at that point. Every scene was important to the story. I just got a little bit tired reading it, so I had to take a few months break, and then when I finished it, I really liked the way it ended, and I still love Joey and Eva so much. The second book was just way too long for me, but I still loved it so much. That's why it's a 4 out of 5. Then right after I finished Redeeming 6, I read Taming 7, which is the 5th book in the Boys of Tommen series. This is Claire and Gibbs's book. I also gave this a 4 out of 5. I feel like it was missing something. Like also their story is only 1 book, unlike the other characters that had 2 books, but I feel like their story is just missing something. Like they were childhood best friends, like since they were like very young. They're like literally like next door neighbors, like across the street, and I feel like they've always had a thing for each other, but in the book they just got together way too fast. If they've been living like in their own bubble for years, like, and then they just get together like that, like I don't know, but I felt like the book was missing something. Like I feel like, I don't know, I don't even know what it's missing, but it was definitely missing something. Like I expected a lot more. I did still enjoy it. I really liked how we got to see more into Gibbsy's past and like why he puts on this happy face all the time, because he's known for being like that goofy, like, you know, character that can make everyone just laugh, but he really is like hurting inside. And I really but I really liked that we got to see more into his mind and like what's been going on, and I actually like did not expect that at all. Like that plot twist was insane. Like I did not expect that. I've always been a fan of them, and I liked seeing how seeing their relationship from their point of view, because like everyone views them as like this cute couple, and then like seeing how they really are with each other like is just so adorable. This book really made me upset with Lizzie's character, because like in the other books you can see her like more closed off, and you can tell she really hates Gibbsy, but in this book she like really crossed the line. And like I know Chloe Walsh is setting up so that Lizzie can have like a good like character arc, you know, so that when we get to her book we can really see her character develop more. But I don't know, like did Lizzie really have to do all that in this book? Like I don't know, I don't think I can justify it, but I still like her character. I just feel like it really like pissed me off in this book, and I hated that she was making Claire choose sides, you know, like that's not what friends are supposed to do. But overall I really enjoyed this book. I read it in just a few days, like it just went by so fast and I just couldn't put it down. The next book I read is The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. This is the second book in the Vancouver Storm series. I read the first book last year, I believe, and I really liked that book, so I decided to read this one because it came out a few months ago. I also gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. This book was actually pretty similar to the first book. Like there was a lot of similarities, like the characters Rory and Hazel, like they went to high school together just like the characters from the first book, but this time she had a long-term boyfriend who's on the hockey team, and then Rory, she just tutored him, but he like was always interested in her, but she, you know, she had a boyfriend. And then like later in the future, once her like career started, her and her boyfriend like broke things off because he like did something really bad to her. I don't know if it's a spoiler saying it, but basically she had to like break up with him because he's like a terrible dude, and that made her like, swear off of hockey players. Like she didn't want to date them anymore because like this guy ruined all of them for her. And then she became like this physical therapist kinda, and so she works for the team that Rory is on, and then her ex like gets added to the team, and so she basically has to be his like physical therapist, and she's like trying to put on like a brave face, you know, like you know, she's not trying to let her personal life affect her work. When he comes for like her appointment, he's like being so weird that she tells him that she's dating Rory when she's not, so it's like fake dating. I don't know, I really love fake dating books. I really enjoyed this one because Rory and Hazel, they have like really good banter. Like Rory's always like complimenting Hazel since she like hates hockey players. She's always like turning him down because she thinks he's joking, and I don't know, their banter is just so good. Them fake dating was also like, I don't know, I really liked it, and it's like not expected because she literally hates him even though he's like always trying to talk to her. She's always like shutting him down, so I felt like it was just good to like see them fake date. I don't know how to explain it, it just was really good. It was a really fast-paced book. I really couldn't put it down. I also read this one over just a few days. I don't know, this was like also a really good book for me to read since I was getting out of my slump, because it was just so fast-paced and the banter was good, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed this one. The only thing is that it was super similar to Behind the Net, but I still really enjoyed it. I'm really excited for the third book to come out. I don't remember when it's coming out, but I'm really excited. Then I read The Layover by Lacey Walden. This is a very summery book. I felt like it's so perfect for summer. I also gave this a 4 out of 5. I felt like it was just like the perfect read because it's like super short. I read like most of this in just one night, but basically it's about Ava. So she's a flight attendant, but ever since she got engaged, her fiance does not want her being a flight attendant because she's like always gone, you know, because she has to travel. So she has one last like flight that she goes on, and it ends up having a layover in Belize, so she's trying to like make the most out of it. The thing is, one of the other flight attendants is Jack, who she absolutely hates. She really hates him, even though she's like never really talked to him. She just hates him because of like this thing that happened years ago. But anyways, so like her and Jack kind of team up to get the third flight attendant. Her name was Jen, I think. I honestly don't remember her name, but I think it was Jen. But they were trying to get Jen to like go out with the pilot, so they end up hanging out a lot more like during this trip. It really bothers me that she's engaged and then like hanging out with Jack, but the thing is, like, she's like having her doubts. Like she really doesn't want to quit being a flight attendant. Like she really enjoys it. Like she loves traveling, and her fiance hates that, so she's like kind of having like doubts about her engagement. And then so she starts like hanging out with Jack, and then so her and Jack like end up like talking more. It was really good. I was really just short and super quick and super easy to read. It just gave super summer vibes. Like it was just such a good book. I loved seeing Ava and Jack together. I feel like they're super similar in a way. Like, they have a lot of similarities. And honestly, her fiance, I don't even remember the name, but he really bothered me. Like, the way he just like talked to her, like please get out of here. I definitely recommend it. It's super good. There's also like a little bit of miscommunication in here, but it was still super good, and they just had really good banter, and I really enjoyed that. The last book I read was As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the third book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I read that first book like 3 years ago, and then I read the second book like the year after that, and I barely just finished the series. But this book was so good. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Like, it was so good. It took me a little bit to read because I did start this in March, like right when I got in my slump, and I was only like halfway, and I barely just finished it, but it was still super good. I literally love Pip and Ravi so much. You really see the relationship a lot better in this book because like you can tell that they literally do anything for each other, and I don't know, it's just super cute and adorable, and I just love reading about them. I can't really like talk much about the story because like, you know, it's like a series, so I can't really say something without spoiling the other two. But this one, I feel like the ending was really good. I like that it was a little bit more of an open ending and not like a set in stone one. Like you can make your own like inferences, is that the word? I don't even know, but you can like, you kind of like create your own ending kind of, because like it's more open, and I like that because like I don't want an ending that I didn't like, you know. But this one was so intriguing. Like, this one is a lot crazier than the other two. Like, the stakes in this book is a lot higher, and I feel like the plot twists were just insane. Like, I really did not expect any of the stuff I read in this book. It just was like plot twist after plot twist. Like, the second one is my favorite out of the three, but I feel like this one is like my second favorite. It just like was so crazy and insane. Like, I don't even know how Holly Jackson came up with this stuff. And also, I just noticed this, so like they all have the word good girl in them, but this one doesn't, because like in this book, like things definitely change. It's like a Good Girl's Guide to Murder and then Good Girl Bad Blood. This one just is As Good as Dead, and it's actually insane. And also, I never realized how the covers like match the story. Like, the first book has like the red string because like she's like connecting the Andy and Sal case, you know, and then the second book has like the headphones, right? And then this book has the tape, like the duct tape, which I don't know, I don't think I could ever like get duct tape the same way ever again. Like, this book was just so good. Like, I definitely recommend this series. I'm not really like a thriller mystery person because I get like super bored, but these ones, I got through them so fast. They just like keep you on the edge of your seat. But this one is definitely like the craziest one out of all of them, and it's just like so good. You definitely have to read it. But anyways, those are all the books I read in July. I would say that it was a pretty good reading month. Like, I've read a lot of good books. I liked pretty much every single book I read, and I'm so happy to be out of this slump. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!